yes, it is the Cat 40 podcast. We are back. It is Sunday, August 1st. I am Big Steve, aka Last of the Dying Breed, on the Twitter machine, joined today by one EJ the Savage.
We back.
What up, man?
Hey man. Good Sunday to be alive, baby. NFL
Yep.
training camps. You know what I'm talking about?
Training camps is on. Lots of music festivals, COVID all over the place, spikes. Florida governors saying that they're banning mask mandates. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
He goes hard.
To be alive, man. What a life we're living through.
He goes hard. At least he's consistent.
He is consistent. That nigga ain't shit. There ain't no way he gets reelected, yo. This nigga got no care in the world. It ain't even that he just stopped like mandates. Like he stopped mandates for schools. If you got kids, no matter what your fucking political background is or choice or preference, you still got to be like, damn, I can't reelect this nigga. He don't care about kids, yo.
I don't
Like
know. I don't know, man. Florida, y'all different, bro.
they different. They
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Them fucking dumbass fucking Cubans
Wow.
that
Now you're going too far.
I mean, no, not all of the Cubans. The ones that associate
Yeah.
politics specifically with Castro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those are the ones that tend to lean towards you know,
Voting for him,
the
etc.
Reds.
Yeah.
The Reds.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So two-man game real quick. VP is not ready to or not able to be with us today. And yeah, so I'm getting ready to hit the road. You're getting ready to hit the road. So we're gonna get in here, get in, get out, pause.
No,
And
getting out is not necessarily a pause.
depends what you're getting in and out of. As long as you're not Lil Nas X, you good.
Mm. Mm.
I mean, in my book. In my book.
But
I
I
don't
don't.
want no. Ain't nothing wrong with
Yeah.
him
No.
getting in and out. It's just
I mean,
we not getting in and out the same thing.
I mean, getting in and out. You know,
He
I
got
can't
his
even.
own lane.
I can't even speculate what goes on in that realm.
Yeah, yeah. Mm,
All right, well,
don't. I'd rather not even think about it. I mean, since we here though, shit. The baby, the baby.
the
Uh,
baby.
Clearly he was speculating what goes on in that realm at Rolling Loud in Miami. He made some comments. One comment about HIV positive individuals, which was extremely insensitive. Another one where I think was kind of taken out of context, but I get it. And he said something like, not something like he said verbatim, all the niggas, if you ain't suck a nigga dick in the parking lot, make some noise. And
What?
yeah, yeah. So he said, he was talking about, he was like, if you're not HIV positive, you know how people be like, yo, if you got $100 in your pocket, make some noise, that type of thing. Well, this man decided, if you're not HIV positive, you're not running around with AIDS, make some noise. And then was like, all the niggas, if you ain't sucking nigga dick in the parking lot, make some noise. And yeah, so he's getting killed, like murdered.
What was his motivation for that? Like, you
He's
know,
stupid, yo.
some
He's
shit
stupid.
you gotta think though. Some things are personally motivated because he hasn't been doing this.
Right.
So what happened to you recently that is making you do that? And then this is the kind of shit where people say like, not only that you're homophobic, but this is closet behavior because
Mm,
it's like you're hating the fact that this is actually possibly what you subscribe to or whatever, and you want to act like you're so against it, but it's really how you feel. This is that classic closet behavior, like because
right.
who just does that? You got millions of dollars, and I can see if you were like on a campaign or trying to say, let's stop the rate of HIV or whatever, but that's not just synonymous to gay people. So it's like, what are you talking about, bro?
Right. Unless, unless he was And that's one outlook. I've heard people say similar things like that. But on the other side of it, to me, that I thought was he was trying to go viral. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a huge show, probably one of the first festivals since the world is open back up, and he's like, "Fuck it, let me go viral." But that bitch backfired like a motherfucker. I mean, he viral as fuck.
And he doubled down since then. He's doubled down. He hasn't changed his sentiments. He hasn't. I think he's apologized now, but initially he doubled down, and I don't know, man. Like
Yeah, he did a little doubling and a little tripling down. He definitely got he got the attention of Madonna. She commented. He got the attention of Elton John. He commented. Like if he was trying to go viral and get his name out,
he won.
then he did it. You know
He
what I'm saying?
won.
Because just as many people that are sensitive to it and feel like that was a senseless
Comment.
comment, an insensitive comment, which I think we're on on that side of it. There's that many that feel like fuck that. You know what I'm saying? And Ti was one of them that came out and was like, well, how can y'all criticize Mans if y'all happy with the way Lil Nas X is? Like Lil Nas X is, and not when I say how he is, I don't mean gay. I mean like extremely, you know, um insensitive to people who may not want it rubbed in their face every chance you get. You know what I'm saying? Like Lil Nas X has like everything he puts out. Like dude was like, oh, my album comes out today. I'm gonna suck a fan's dick. Like nigga puts that on Twitter. You know what I'm saying?
He
Like
didn't say that.
he did. He tweeted that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yo,
yeah, like
yo,
and that's the thing, right? So that's where
I
I could see
know.
people. Yeah, like I can see people that be like, you know, listen, everybody has a right to their sexual preference, and everybody has a space in this world to be accepted. But
I
you
think
you can't be mad at one and be like, oh, this guy's a hero over here. You know what I'm
I
saying? Like,
think the difference is that the baby, kind of, the association with HIV, that probably, I mean, nothing he could have said about how he feels about that community, nothing he could have said is going to be accepted by that community, right? But I
mm,
guess the association with saying, HIV is synonymous to that only, I guess, to kind of allude to that, I guess that's the part. But yeah, I mean, to your point, your overall underlying point, people, everybody don't have to agree with your lifestyle. And if
mm,
that's how he feels about it, it's America, right? So
now he's learning. I mean, he's a young kid. He thinks he's untouchable. He killed somebody. You know what I'm saying? He killed somebody and called it self defense and beat it. You know what I'm saying? Which we don't see that happen a lot, especially in, black culture, hip hop culture in general.
mhm.
And so now he comes out, he does this, but he is learning that he's not, because he lost a bunch of endorsements over this shit. And he's getting killed out there. While, some people say all press is good press. Um, this is not, I mean, I don't think this is the greatest. Like, if there's award shows that come up and stuff like that, they're not gonna associate their name with you.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
Kevin
saying?
Kevin Hart felt that firsthand.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Hart felt that firsthand. And you know what, man? Honestly, and I'm not killing him for his opinion, because I do despise what Lil Nas X does. Not because of his orientation, but the messaging and the imaging that, just like any star, like just like when they killed Pac for having half naked women in a video, or just even that imagery, it's all bad for children. Now it is up to parents to ensure that they monitor what their kids watch. However, artists like Lil Nas X kind of transcend that when you do outlandish things, and we're not in a time where it's just on MTV. It's
Right.
everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I do despise a lot of the outlandish shit that he does, especially the video with Satan and all of that. And not even just on a religious level, just like, just it optically just looked bad to me. So I do get that. But I think the baby definitely deserves to get spanked over that, You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, I see what you did there.
oh, bars. Yeah. I definitely think he does deserve to get spanked over that, man, because it's just like you need to understand, brother, that not only just you being black, it's not even about that yet, but you can't do anything you want in this world. You just can't without consequences. And that's what we try to tell
Mhm.
people. Yeah, First Amendment rights, it ain't, like Big Pun said, number one, is culturally biased, but number two, that shit comes with some consequences, dog. And especially in today's day and age. We're not in the 60s and 70s and 80s or 90s for that matter. You're gonna be getting killed for some shit. So he
Right.
deserves he deserves every bit of it.
And your moment of viral is someone else's opportunity to be viral. You know what I'm saying? Like there's always somebody else that's sitting there thinking of a way to be viral, and they're going to try and piggyback off of your viral. So you go viral for your negative remarks, somebody's going to be like, oh, how can I make a statement or a video, that I can attach to his negativity, and I be positive, and maybe I can, get boosted off of his viralness, for lack of a better word. Um, and so that's why I think that's part of why I think he's getting killed by so many people. Like, you got those same people that always feel the need to come out and make their voice known on whatever issue it might be. Same stars, same everybody. Like, oh, can't believe he said XYZ. Oh, I can't believe so and so was, for police, uh, making police brutality okay, and so was okay with Trump and XYZ. Like, you don't gotta. We understand. We know where you stand. You've been telling us for 5 fucking years. Like every time something happens, you come out and tell us we good, we good.
Yeah,
Um, but I
yeah.
mean,
I'm looking at that little Nas that tweet. That's I mean, why? I just don't understand that. Like,
you didn't believe it.
no, I did not. I did not. Like, is this what we doing now? You know what I mean? Like, and then let me take it a step further. His male privilege makes that okay. What if a woman said that?
Yeah, you gotta do better than that, man. You gotta do better because if I'm not mistaken, I believe Lil Nas X had when he had his little fucking Ride 'em Cowboy song or whatever that shit was.
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure he was like on the Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
no question.
And you had kids all over the United States and probably all over the world singing that little jingle, riding in the blah blah,
Absolutely.
which is perfectly fine, right? But you got to understand that your demographic is not just homosexuals. Like you got kids, man.
Or
It's not just
adults.
adults.
Yeah.
You got kids that look at this and they might just go on and search for you because they want to hear that song, and they might see you riding Satan, and if they can read, they can read that tweet if it pops up, because that's just how Google works. Like whatever's trending is gonna pop up, and so it's just irresponsible, man. It's irresponsible.
And the defense for it is the worst part because we're now in a society where everything has to be accepted just because somebody said so.
Hmm.
Like,
And if
no.
you can do it, then I can do it, type of thing too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's like we normalizing sexuality. Like, it's a point in time where, as a parent, you just don't want your kid knowing about that kind of shit. Not
Right.
not through the internet.
Right. In general, just in general, it's crazy, man. It's crazy, but yeah, man, these people just gotta, and the baby specifically, like you said, I'm not mad at him for saying what he thought. Like that's what we tell people to say all the time. To do all the time. Speak your mind. But I just feel like as an individual, like you're ruining your family's potential generational wealth. Um, over something stupid. You got to make better. You just got to make better decisions, man. You know, because he lost endorsement upon endorsement. I think there's a festival, that festival from 2022 cut him out. That big one in Vegas, which I definitely, I think I had to send you the picture of it. Like everybody's gonna be there. It looks pretty dope. Um,
Yeah, I saw that.
but he got cut off. He lost his endorsement for the clothing line that he was on, Woo Baby. I think it's Woo Baby. No, not Woo Baby. Woo some shit. But he lost that endorsement. It's just money out the window just because of 20 seconds worth of words that you could have said completely different. Could have just been like, hey, if you ain't suck a dick in the parking lot, scream. And that could be anybody. You know what I'm saying? Now you're not targeting what people think is gays. So
Stupid.
just stupid shit, man. Um
Well, his name is the baby, so
yeah, man. And of course, these festivals are crazy, man. Like there's so many people, and I don't know if you got to see some of the images of Rolling Loud. And
I
then
did.
yesterday, I think the one yesterday was called Lollapalooza or some shit. Um, but yeah, I'm suspecting, like, here in Florida we had our largest spike in COVID Friday in history. Like not since vaccines, not since we reopened, like ever. We had 21,000 cases um Friday, which is crazy. And I suspect part of it came from that. I mean, the amount of people that went there, and that shit was just crazy. You know.
This COVID thing, man. I mean, it's kind of crazy because I guess the logic will always be that the unvaccinated are keeping this shit going. I guess that's gonna be the logic. Like, but the reality is, if you're not vaccinated, you're kind of playing with your own life because you would hope by now vulnerable people got vaccinated because you can't stop from getting the virus, right? All you can do is try to mitigate what it does to you, and that's the reason for the vaccine. So
Yeah,
this shit's crazy.
I mean, yeah. So, this past week, I was at a hotel here in Orlando because the wife had a conference, so there was a conference there, and there was like a soccer tournament. So that shit was a fucking zoo. And I'm walking through there, and I felt like I was the only one with a fucking mask on when I was walking through there, and I'm vaccinated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I
so
you know I feel and it kind of it's a weird feeling because I've been in that space too because certain places I go to the store or whatever people got masks on, some people don't, and then it's
mhm,
like, damn, I'm the only one with my mask on. I'm like,
right.
I feel weird now. Like, I don't
Hmm.
know, man, this whole thing is crazy. And because I remember going back to the days where Fauci was like, oh, you don't have to wear a mask. Nobody
I
talks
know.
about that though, but
Yeah.
I'm a bash him a little bit today, just a
Well,
little bit.
that was before the new variants. But I mean, like, if you and it was targeted to vaccinated people, right? And so that's the problem. We have so many irresponsible people, and like Americans are so fucking thick-headed and entitled that they come out and they say, listen, if you are vaccinated, we don't see a need for you to wear a mask. You can start to take them off. You can take them off in public. You can take them off in indoors, as long as you're vaccinated, right? And the unvaccinated people that are like, oh, I'm American, I have my rights. you know I'm not wearing it if they don't gotta wear it. And that's how we get where we are, man. Not saying that they caused the new variant, but the crazy spreading, the deaths. I mean, the one thing is, if you're unapologetically insensitive to those people that choose not to get vaccinated, they're the ones dying. Like, the ones that are vaccinated are okay. Like, they may get sick, they may carry it, they may transport it, but the sad part about it is those unvaccinated people, they still have kids, and they might have family members that can't get vaccinated because they might have something wrong with their immune system, and they could be transferring that to them, and they don't give a fuck. They're selfish in that right.
Yeah, I definitely understand that piece. Yeah, you're 100% right.
Mhm.
You're 100% right. We need to get this shit under control because football season's around the corner.
It's crazy, man. I'm heading out to Clearwater today. uh COVID ain't stopping me. uh Mainly because I paid for the hotel already. But I'm heading out to Clearwater today. Gonna spend a couple days out on the beach. um I'll probably go through a whole bottle of Lysol getting the bed spray down. Might bring my own sheets, my own pillow. Really considering it, but I'll take a little trip
Yeah,
out there. A little trip out. I ain't worried about it. I ain't worried about it.
yeah, they do a good job of sanitizing stuff. I mean, hotels was doing that before COVID because people were skeeting.
Mm, indeed. Skeeting and fleeting.
Well, the 5-star ones, your risque motels, maybe not so much.
Yeah,
Not that I've
yeah,
been in any, so I've
yeah.
heard.
They leave the lights on. You so you said the NFL's coming up, man. So and we're on COVID. So it came out that the NFL made, they came out with a rule. They announced to the teams that if your game can't be played within the week, if you have a COVID outbreak, you
hmm
forfeit the game.
hmm
How do you
And
feel
we
about
said
that?
they should have done that last year, though. We said they
Yeah.
should have did that last year. That was a no brainer. You know what I mean? Because in certain instances, right? You gotta think about it like this: like if I'm and every player on the roster is not equal. Let's be clear on that part.
Hmm.
But if I'm a guy just making the squad or I'm practice squad, etc. You can't really say don't go anywhere, don't do this, don't do that. Again, because you're vaccinated does not mean you can't get COVID, right? However, if I know that my job, this is special, this is one and only kind of thing in a lifetime, you got to make sacrifices. And as athletes, when you're in training camp back in the day, college, you don't have a family, you're with your team 24/7 and that's it. And while it's tough and it's difficult, boxers go through the same thing, wrestlers go through the same thing. You got to kind of isolate yourself a lot better, especially if I'm a big millionaire guy and I choose not to be vaccinated. I'm gonna have to isolate myself. Like, listen, we gonna get somebody that's COVID free to do our shopping. We already got a private chef, whatever it is. And so we were saying last year when some of these big name guys were coming up with it because they were out and about doing whatever, we was like, yo, it's up to the team to have ensured that all of the people were doing the right thing. Coaches getting it, you know what I mean? So we thought they should have did that shit last year, and it's really gonna make an impact to see how serious your program is. Because if you
Right.
got a forfeit, that's a potential. Hey,
Especially at a bad time. Like imagine a divisional game end of the season.
if I'm the New York Jets and we're rebuilding, we got a new quarterback, and Robert Saleh has everybody locked in, and you even said this. I mean, I think the plan that you laid out was phenomenal, especially in the location of playing games, having a mini community here, regionally, whatever. If I'm the New York Jets and I got all my team and I'm like, look, yo, we all bring your families. We all gonna stay in this hotel. We done rented it out. They ain't got no rooms anyway. Nobody goes anywhere. Everything you need is gonna be here. And my team stays COVID free. And we going into Buffalo and we're 1-3. And Buffalo got a forfeit. We now 2-3. Uh Saints got a forfeit. We now 3-3. And now his bum ass team that might not have been doing anything this year is now 9-7 headed to the playoffs. That's saying something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, you have that outlook on it in the beginning of the season, then you have the outlook on it in the end of the season. And you have the outlook as maybe we're not the best team in the league. Maybe we don't have the most talent, but, you know, we can live on the fact that there could be other teams in the AFC that are going to have those outbreaks. You might have a Kansas City who has an outbreak, for a week or even two, you know, um and maybe it impacts their bigger players, and maybe one week they forfeit, but the next week they might just have to play their scrubs and their bench. um so, as a leadership team, a coaching staff, you got to make sure that you, like you said, you got you guys locked the fuck in. Listen, man, if motherfuckers making 50, 60, 70,000 a year can fucking get people to shop for them and stay in the house and be COVID free, then millionaires can absolutely do it, man. And I think they got to get past the fact, I think what people don't realize, and you've brought this up multiple times last year specifically, is they're not all Aaron Rodgers. They're not all fucking Mahomes. They're not all slated to make hundreds of millions of dollars. Some of these guys are on minimum contracts. Some of these guys are practice squad guys. While they do make a good amount of money in comparison to the everyday American, they're still trying to feed their family, and they could be technically living paycheck to paycheck because, that salary is so much lower. So yeah, man. I mean, as a coaching staff, you got to keep your guys locked in, dialed in, make sure that there's that they're being responsible. And if someone has a moment where they're irresponsible or something, you got to be okay with sitting them the fuck down or putting them on timeout. And that's what a strong coach would do. If you're not a strong coach, then you won't do it, and you're gonna be in a bad situation.
Yeah, like and the thing was too last year we weren't just seeing one guy, it was multiple guys, the facility, the coaches, shit in some
Bus
instances, bus
drivers was
driver.
handing that shit off.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So
How you got a bus driver driving around your team as an owner or coach that you don't know where this motherfucker done been? You haven't had a rapid test or some type of test regularly.
yeah, and some of that too politically is when you look at the owners, we know where they lie politically and what their thoughts and beliefs and ideals were last year. And so now you can bring that right wing shit around you want to, and say you're gonna be unvaccinated, etc. But now we gonna tax your ass. And
Mhm.
again, I said this before. People praise Silver so much, when I think a lot of what Silver is doing is that he's just so much nicer seemingly than Stern was, because Stern had to go through the real bullshit. But I think Goodell doesn't get enough credit to come out with this bold of a stance to
Mhm.
32 owners that how they really get down and what they think. That's saying something. That's even bigger than what a step than what the NBA took.
Yeah.
Because how many games were missed this year, and you know what I mean, with COVID.
NBA was missed. I mean, they cut it short. They said because of fatigue, but I don't think that was it specifically. Baseball games are still being missed. The Washington Nationals just had an outbreak and they missed 2, 3 games. So it's there, it's out there, man. And yeah, to your point, man, for him to come out for Goodell now, it's not him saying it, right? We got to see if they uphold the law. You know what I'm saying? Or if they're just saying that and then they brush the shit under the rug, right? There was so much question. There's still a lot of questionable decisions that happen. For example, we talked about Giannis. His brother tested positive and they let Giannis play the next game, and then the series is over. We don't know if he had to go quarantine. Out. We don't know what the fuck that looked like, right? No, nothing has come out about it, so we have to assume and hope for the best there. But you know, there was players last year. You remember Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh played on, I want to say it was a Monday night,
It was like
and everybody passed the
Tuesday or
test.
something like
And
that.
then Tuesday, niggas came out like,
Yeah,
"Oh, we got 3 cases in the locker room."
yeah.
How?
I
How?
mean, prime example: Cowboys Bucks. You best believe that game is getting played no matter what.
Oh yeah, it don't matter what happened. It don't matter. I got tickets to that game too, so I don't know. I don't know, bro. There's money to be made there, but I don't know. We'll see. That's the Cowboys. Um. So yeah, man. But I'm excited. I mean, training camp is around the way. We got
Oh, it's gone. It's underway. It's
it's
off and popping.
underway.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
What I'm kind of meant to talk about is uh Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks is around the way, 9 days away. So I'm excited for that. And once that comes on, then you're so close to fantasy season. Then we get into our drafts, and then fantasy drafts begin, fantasy drafts end, and then football season. So we are extremely close, man.
Yeah, I mean, today's August 1st, so the first week of games starts in 11 days. August
Yeah,
12th, I believe, is the first preseason game.
yeah, the Hall of Fame, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So Right around the way, man. I do hope for these guys' sake, man, that they stay healthy through it. Like last year, a lot of them. I mean, there was a number of teams last year that didn't have outbreaks. So
Yeah.
maybe maybe if you feel that confident about what you were what you were doing last year, you feel good about it this year. It's just crazy to me that so many players are coming out and openly saying that they didn't get the vaccine, or neglecting to comment on whether they did or didn't, which generally is telling you something.
Yeah.
um
And you want to have respect to, their health information. Because I guess in some right, you can say, although I'm an athlete, I don't have to tell you guys everything.
mhm.
But, I also think it's that mentality of, I'm rich. That you got to remember, these people are in circles of people that are rich, that are saying, rich people tend to have knowledge that the average person does not. And whether it's right or wrong, you taking advice from these people that got millions of dollars, and they're saying, "Oh, I'm not taking this vaccine because this is gonna happen." They don't know what's going on, and some of these guys are buying into it.
Yeah,
Honestly speaking.
yeah, we'll see, man. 30 days or so from us starting to see some regular season games. So can't wait, man. I can't wait for football season to get around the way. Baseball season, we just had the trade deadline come and go. Teams made a lot of moves. Your Mets made a last minute move yesterday. I think that was an amazing move, signing or trading for Javi Baez from the Cubs, who hit a home run first game.
Yeah, yeah. The Mets are honestly, man. I mean, I love to. I don't know where this Yankees and Mets hatred came from, because our parents are old enough to have been around when the Mets, Knicks, and Jets won in the same year, and then the Yankees, in the '70s, etc. And the city's always supported itself. So I don't know where this hatred's come from, but I personally love to see, the Subway Series like in 2000. If both your teams are from your same city in the World Series, how can you lose? You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
So
yeah. I
I,
would love
I
to see that. I don't know if
yeah.
it happens because the Yankees look like shit, but they made some moves. They brought in some big lefty bats: Anthony Rizzo from the Cubs,
Hmm.
Joey Gallo from Texas.
Hmm.
You know, Gallo struck out 4 times in his first 2 games, but Rizzo hit 2 home runs in his first 2 games. So he hit one in the first game, hit one yesterday. So
And got a dub
it's
last night.
yeah, it's good to see these guys in new play. I mean, we're playing Miami, so we can't do anything but win. Um, but it's good to see the movement. I think we're seeing baseball turn into some like some of the other sports where they're selling and stocking, you know, not draft picks in this case, like the other leagues, but
Prospects.
prospects, these young kids that have worked their way up, and they've been in the minors for 2 3 years, and now they're on their third year and they look great. Let me get that guy, and I'm gonna give you this guy here that probably has 2 or 3 years left, since you guys are closer to winning. And if I can get 5 of those guys, I mean, that's how Chicago did it the first time. The
Yeah.
Cubs, that's how they did it the first time when Javi Baez came up and Chris Bryant came up. Like, the only person I think they got from a trade um was Chapman from us. Like that was their biggest name on their team for that World Series run that they traded for, right? Maybe homie from Atlanta, who's still over there, Jason Hayward. He came from the Braves, but that was a signing, that wasn't a trade. So, um,
Speaking
yeah,
of the
man.
MLB, USA baseball yesterday in the Olympics beat South Korea, and they were talking about how the NHL does stoppages for the Olympics to allow the NHL guys, especially with them because they got so many foreign-born guys over there.
Mhm.
Um, but I was just looking at it, like Team USA is a bunch of old MLB guys, 30s, 34s, like late guys that didn't even have really great careers. It's just crazy because it's
I
like,
know Tom Frazier's playing for them.
yeah, and it's crazy because it's like, damn, what if we had, all of the stars representing Team USA right now, So yeah, just interesting.
they definitely win. Like, they would definitely win. But to your point, right? The stoppage for baseball would be big for people like Otani. Otani is the biggest player in the MLB right now. He's the face of the MLB, but I gotta think that in his heart he would love to be playing in the Olympics for his country.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
you see, we got our asses whooped in basketball by France, and Damian Lillard said the same shit. I think it was Damian Lillard that said, when these guys play in the NBA, they not the same as when they play for their country.
Right.
When they get out there for their country, they a different ball game because I think they just have that much more pride. This is you playing for your country, dog. Like you're not you willing to truly lay it on the line, like people say. That heart that we see from some players in the NBA. When these guys go and they play for their country, they're trying to put their country on the map. That's a huge thing for them.
And I think that's the difference between this team because
Oh
even
yeah,
past teams that we've seen, win gold, we saw the difference. Even going back to the dream team, them guys did not want to lose. Whether or not they were playing for America versus just not wanting to lose, them guys did not want to lose. And this team, even though they just got a win versus Czech Republic, this team just doesn't seem like they're built like that. And I mean, individually, there's a lot of people on this roster that have been questionable, i.e., KD and his desire to, do what's necessary, because he's just been going to super teams and winning that way. But yeah, man, I
yeah.
mean,
But this is the ultimate super team, allegedly.
should be.
But you know what? There's that side of it, but the other side of it that I look at too for these guys is do I want to play for like I will, like I'm going to, but do I want to lay it on the line for this country? Like all the shit that we done went through in these last year or two with police brutality and the way black men are being treated, black women, black people in general, the injustices. And if we want to really talk about it, not just the last 2 years, we can go back to the beginning of time. Like the people are being getting more educated to all the stuff that's going on, that's been happening. And it's got to be something where some of these guys, and maybe not the ones playing, but some of the guys that might have sat out might have been thinking that way, like, do I want to do I want to represent the United States right now? Like think about, I mean, I know we have a new president now, but for the 4 years prior, we had this fucking scumbag that these people hated here and people hated abroad. Like, are they gonna associate me with this piece of shit and potentially try to do harm to me? Because it's just how things go overseas. The motherfuckers don't hesitate. They about their business. They not like over here. You know,
Mhm, yeah.
it's like Chicago everywhere over there.
Chirac.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point. Um,
I
you
know I
know,
wouldn't. I say it about the military. Like I wouldn't. I'm not going to like right now. Shit, even when I was younger, but even right now,
yeah,
first
that
time,
would always been that was always my mentality,
yeah,
unless
I'm
things
not
really got
representing.
bad. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
dying for yeah, but I mean, it's like Chris Rock said, America's like that uncle that paid your way through college, but
Mhm.
touched you. It's he says something like that. It's tough, man, because this is the country that we know, and if things are the way that they should be, it would be right, but it's not always that way. So it's
Yeah,
tough.
yeah, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But I feel, listen, man, this country is it's different. We safe only because they want everyone else to be safe.
Right,
Like they don't, the laws and stuff ain't they're not designed to keep us safe.
right.
And that's where I'll leave it because it'll get into a long one. Um, but
Speaking of the
yeah,
NBA, Russell Westbrook to the Lakers.
Westbrook to the Lakers, man. Is this championship or bust for the Lakers? Like for two reasons. Like if LeBron, his legacy, man, God, this guy, it just doesn't get. He don't do himself no favors in that sense. Like it's more and more and more like, oh, give me a different star, give me this star, give me that star. Um, if he don't like if he loses again, like, and I'm not even talking about in the finals, even if it is the finals in general, if he don't win this year with Westbrook and AD, and they're talking about Melo is all but done being there. They're saying DeRozan, who is in the peak of his career, is willing to take a pay cut to make it work. You know what I'm saying? Like if that all
Gotta win at
happens
that.
and they don't
Gotta
win,
win.
oh my goodness, man.
They sent. I mean, they got Russell Westbrook. They sent Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, fine, Caldwell Pope, and the number 22 pick. I mean, I don't know what Washington is thinking. I don't know what Washington is thinking. I mean, I guess they're dumping money in that, right? Freeing up cap. I don't know who's gonna go there. And I guess maybe they're looking at supporting or shoring up Bradley Beal. I don't know what Washington was thinking, but they all but pretty much rolled over for these guys and gave it to them. Like, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, the team, I mean, the players that they got in return, I mean, they probably hope Kuzma can develop into something. Which he has the potential, obviously. We've seen Kuzma be great at times. And if he's out of the shadow of LeBron and AD, you never know. He could turn into a Tatum type of guy. I could see that happening. He'll still be a B, or Robin, as some might say, because Bradley Beal's gonna be there.
yeah.
But you
And they went
talk
and
about
got the Wizards went and took that number 22 pick, gave it to the Pacers for Aaron Holiday, who was the younger brother of Drew Holiday. And then the Pacers took Isaiah Jackson from Kentucky. I don't know. I think that's what makes the NBA weird. That they do these things. Like, it's not like the NFL. Like, these people may never really pan out. Like Isaiah, Jackson from Kentucky, he may never ever pan out ever. And then this trade happens. This doesn't make the Wizards any better, in my opinion. Gives them a little bit more depth, I guess. But the NBA is funny like that. Like, what is your motivation if you're Washington to really send him to LA?
I don't know, man. I mean, like you said, they're freeing up cap space. Maybe, I mean, and to me, it looked like Westbrook and Beal played pretty good together. It seemed like
Late down the stretch,
yeah,
yeah.
it seemed like they had a good camaraderie, but maybe there's something we didn't know.
It started off rough, but down
Mhm.
the stretch, and that's the thing. People are like, "Well, Westbrook's game doesn't match with LeBron." Okay, well, my response was, if you guys think LeBron is the best player in the world, then how does it hurt? He's a top 15 guy. This guy
And you
is a
take the ball
dog.
out of LeBron's hands some,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. We said that, multiple times. That's what Rondo did, right? Rondo took the ball out of his hands. They ran through the bubble because LeBron didn't have to facilitate and score and play defense and motivate and do all of that, right? So Westbrook can absolutely make plays for other people. Um, and if he's running the point, and you're talking about he averaged a triple double again, you know. Um, there's no reason why he can't, average double digit at least assists, get LeBron, AD, as long as AD can stay healthy. But I think that's the key to it, right? AD's body is made up of, like, the styrofoam that they pack stuff in. When they put it into a box, this shit that if you lift it and shake it, it's gonna break. That's him, man. Because this dude, if he can't play like he can't play more than 50 games, there's no way they're gonna win, man. And if he's not around for the playoffs. So the one year he did, which was bubble year, of course he had LeBron, in addition to being healthy, and they ran through it. And of course, weird season, weird shit went on, things like that. But last year wasn't healthy. LeBron wasn't truly healthy. And then AD couldn't even make it back for the playoffs. He got hurt in the middle of the playoffs. So, um,
Yeah, and I think the larger thing too with the Lakers is you just traded away three guys while they made, like, Pope had some flashes, Kuzma we know had some flashes. Harrell, I guess, wasn't what everybody thought he was gonna be, didn't pan out. And that could be, again, they always say there's a pressure with playing with LeBron, which I don't think Westbrook is gonna feel, because he just does his own thing. But you just
yeah,
let go of
I'm here.
three guys. Right. You let go of three guys that could play. What is your depth gonna look like again when it comes time for the stretch? That's always the thing with LeBron teams. When they're front loaded, what do you have coming off the bench?
Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I think it's gonna look good. It's gonna be a fun team to watch. They're gonna
Mm,
be much quicker this year, I think.
yep.
That team runs faster this year up and down the court. Um, and it's gonna be a great team to watch. But you got to remember, man, if Kawhi comes back healthy, they still got the Clippers over there, who could free up some cap and bring some people in. You still got Brooklyn, who's Brooklyn, like, and they got the same issues as AD. If they can stay healthy, that's not an easy task for even the LeBron led team with Westbrook and AD. Especially since they'll get Dinwiddie back this year. You know what I'm saying? So you're bringing back another, B level point guard who has A level talent. Um, with the three big guys that they already have. The Joe Harris, the kid that they had last year, white dude that was shooting the lights out. Like Brooklyn's gonna be, they should be good this year as well. Um, and you obviously we know this now. You can't write the Bucks off.
No. And I think they're phenomenal for the NBA because that's what we really want to see. All of these moves and all of this lack of parity, we finally had a team that got it through the mud,
Yeah.
and LeBron saw that and was like, nah.
Yeah, we ain't having that. We gonna make niggas want super teams again. Um,
Oh
so
man.
real quick before we move on from basketball, now that we see Westbrook went over there, where do you think Chris Paul lands?
I don't know. I hope anywhere but my Knicks. Because it just, while he's a great player, it just seems like he always hits a ceiling, whether it's through injury, whatever, and his disappearance, I mean, people were calling him point god, top 5 all time. I'm like, God damn, no Gary Payton, no Stockton, no Isaiah, no Frazier. I'm like, all right, and then Drew Holiday gets on him, and the whole series is different. I mean, let's be honest. You know what I mean? This dude put up how many points in the fourth quarter, and point God. And then Drew Holiday was like, nah, damn that. I'm gonna show
Yeah,
your black ass. So I think he's a great piece. I think he's a great general. Statistically gonna be a Hall of Famer. Been a beast since he was in high school. If I'm him, I guess I would stay in Phoenix.
yeah. I mean, not being able to get to LeBron, um, that's probably his best option, man. Aside from that, the only other place I could see him trying to get to is maybe Miami. Um, you know, I think that could fit with Butler and, depending on what they'd have to give up, but they have Bam and so on. Or um even Utah. If they get rid of Conley, which I'm pretty sure they're gonna get rid of Conley, they're gonna part ways with Conley because he's gonna probably get paid because he had a good year. Um, you put him over there with Spider, put Spider at the two. You still got Gobert. You still got, well, they just traded whatchamacallit. Oh man, what's his name? The white dude.
Not Ingles.
Yes, they just traded
Ingles.
Joe Ingles.
Uh,
Um, so I mean, there's opportunity out there for Chris Paul, but he's old, man, and he wants another big payday. And I don't know that team. There's going to be a good team out there that will want to or can afford to do that, right? You know, he could always end up on like a Detroit and get his big payday, but that's gonna, then you're taking a step back.
yeah, yeah.
So
And Detroit just got the number one pick, so I don't know that you really. I
yeah.
mean, it's a good thing and a bad thing. You could bring in a vet like that with the number one guy, and but it also could backfire. I don't know, man. I can say this about the NBA. I'm glad it's over.
Hmm. We'll see. We'll see. You're so with COVID being so on the rise. We're seeing a lot of companies require vaccinations. Disney came out and said any networks on their campuses are going to be required to be vaccinated. Google came out and said they're going to end their remote works starting October 13th. And in order to come back to the campus, you need to be vaccinated. And I'm sure we're going to see other companies follow suit. How do you feel about that?
Man, they didn't require flu shots in the past, and but there are other vaccinations that you've been required to take, throughout the year. Hep shots and um, what's the other one? You got the hep shots and then tetanus shots and you know
Measles,
s-
mumps, rubella, those
all of
things.
that kind of stuff. Your kids got to get shots for school. So I don't think. Again, I think it's one of those things. I think it's one of those things because the COVID vaccine um, was whipped together so fast, and you have people that are not trusting of it. We also have to remember that technology is better today, and people are scared. That's what it is at the end of the day. But when you think about it overall, you've been required to get other vaccinations throughout history, so it's really not anything new. I think with the internet, with media, with just how fast COVID was working in getting people sick and killing them, it's a new game. You know what I mean? But hundreds of years ago, you know, when other things broke out, throughout time, we had vaccines for them, and people just took them. You got used to it, and I think while I don't fully agree with the idea that people are being forced to do something, I get it. I get it.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I see it two ways, right? One way, I see it as technically it's not forced. You don't want to do it, find a new job. You ain't got to work for us. But on the other side of it, I see it as people that already work there. It is not fair for someone who chooses not to, or who may not be a pro-vax, to have to do that to maintain their stability, and their quality of life that they know. Right, you might have been there for 10 years, 12 years, now you have to go reestablish yourself somewhere where you have to, you know go get vested in your 401k again. You got to go build relationships. You have to go, start maybe at bottom floor and work your way up. So I can absolutely see, see both sides of it. But I also understand, the companies wanting to do that now. And a different approach that maybe they could or should take, or is, hey, when annual enrollment comes around in January, if you're not vaccinated, there's an extreme premium for you, right? Instead of you paying what I pay, or maybe there's a cut for someone who's vaccinated, right? You do it that way instead of saying you're not vaccinated, so you pay more, but you are vaccinated, so you pay less, right? And it's just the delivery, same message, different delivery. But you say, listen, either you won't be covered, or your premiums are gonna be extreme to be covered, because you have a higher risk of, because listen, man, if you're not vaccinated and you end up in the hospital, listen, if you're not vaccinated versus if you are vaccinated and you end up with COVID, let's just say, the treatment can be so much more expensive from a company standpoint, that the insurance company has to cover, right? You're talking about ventilators potentially, you're talking about all types of medication, you're talking about a potential long-term hospital stay. Like, all of that stuff is, and now if you're carrying a family on your insurance and they all are positive, clearly if you're not vaccinated, they're not vaccinated, you have that risk of, possible potentially that cost times five, right? Or four or three, whatever that looks like. um so maybe that's where you hit people in the head, versus saying, if you're not vaccinated, you can't come back here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a little steep to me. I commend, like you said, with with Silver, or not Silver, with good
Goodell.
Goodell. I commend these large corporations for doing that, because you don't want to be in the news for that, right? that can be a negative. Look at Apple. Apple started bringing people back, and their employees quickly went to the news, was like, listen, we unhappy. We told these niggas we ain't want to go back, and they still bringing us back. Like, as a large
Mhm.
corporation, you don't want that negative press. But you know um I guess it's just like the little Nas X and little baby thing, right? Some people are going to support it and some people are not. And I'm, you know
That baby, that baby,
yeah, the baby, not little baby.
little
So
baby's
many
cool,
damn babies that rap nowadays.
right? At the end of the day, I do want to see what companies are gonna, what slope they're gonna get into with ones that are testing daily. Because okay, I do get vaccinated, cool, I'm back, but now you're doing daily testing, and if I come up with it, what you gonna do
I'm not doing that.
with the daily testing?
No matter who I work for, you're not testing me every day. You're not putting that shit in my nose unless they have like the saliva swab type
Yeah, or
thing.
the little because they got one that just goes around your nose, not all the way in it.
I don't want it touching my
But
nose.
there are some agencies, governmental agencies, that are saying, they're requiring daily testing, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, because if I'm vaccinated and I happen to get it, especially at work, what I mean? What are you gonna do? You gonna send me home every day? That's another
Or
14
you
days
just
I'm out.
right, or you just don't pay them for that time, right? If they're not vaccinated, like
But what I'm saying is,
if they're
aside from that part, if they are, what I mean, and
yeah,
again, there are companies that saying you can't come back if you're not vaccinated. Cool, I'm vaccinated, and now you're testing daily. Now open up Pandora's box, buddy.
yeah. I think a lot of these companies are just trying to show their support for the CDC and following the guidelines and the data, and a lot of the data is leading to those that are being unvaccinated being the ones that are having fatalities and extreme illness, and potentially more likely to spread than someone who is vaccinated. And so, just hopefully trying to get their hands around it and help the CDC out for people. But slippery slope, man. It's a slippery slope.
Extremely,
Slippery slope, man. But I get it.
extremely.
I get it, and like I said, man, I commend whoever's a decision maker in that area. That's a tough decision to make, man. Especially if you're not in a state like Florida where it's a right to work state, or if you're in a state that has unions or something like that, right? Or let's say California, which I know Google, I'm pretty sure is based out of California. That's one of those big, employee first states. So that's may not be as easy as they think.
That
You know?
that's my point. Even to that end, like, okay, fine. Again, I know some governmental agencies are literally saying they're gonna start testing employees every morning. Okay, bet. What I mean? I'm gonna just come in with COVID and be out every 14 days. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are
Well,
you gonna do?
yeah. I mean, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Um,
Strange times.
I know, man. I know. Just some shit that we'll have to get through as Americans. And just hope we pull through it, which we'll be fine.
Hmm.
Um, so we're very very close to the verses. We're 2 days away from the locks and
Dipset
Dipset. I've been watching those guys on Instagram.
talking cash shit.
Styles P and Jim Jones going back and forth, and that's been pretty entertaining, man. To see Styles P, who's the guy that we've always known him as the ghost, the quiet guy in the group that'll just hawk you and you know break your fucking face, to kind of be the guy out there joking and playing around, seeing a little bit of showmanship from him. That's been pretty interesting, man.
Talking cash shit, man. It's good. It's good for the game. It's gonna be interesting to see, man. And they're gonna be at MSG. Yeah,
I'm
that's just gonna
excited,
be
man.
crazy. That's
I
gonna be
really, really
crazy.
hope. I'm
That's
excited. I'm excited to see that one. I think that one's gonna be good. That's gonna be great for New York.
absolutely
Oh my God, there's gonna be so many Timberlands in there. Like,
in the summer.
yo, black Tims. If you wear black Tims, you're rocking with D Block. If you wear, wheats, butters, you rocking with Dipset. Like, or white, all white on whites.
Yeah, man.
Cause
And Beans and Nori, what Nori was Beans was on Drink Champs recently, and they
I
were
gotta
talking
listen to
about,
that.
yeah, it was a pretty good interview. Um and they would, they didn't really reveal too many. I wanted Nori's good at his job. He don't get a lot of credit for that. I wanted him, being he was trying to get Beans to kind of say, to get closer to what really broke up the Rock in his opinion, because we really haven't heard anybody from that echelon, really, that level of membership of the Rock, really speak on it. And he almost had him, but he wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
uh but yeah, they were talking about their potential battle, and I think Swiss and them definitely need to make that happen ASAP. You know,
I think that one would be interesting.
it'll be good.
I think
It'll be good, because you'll get to see that Philly wave, that Philly run. Beans will never get Jay out, but Nori could get a lot of people out, for
maybe,
the
maybe if they do that,
compilations.
yeah, if they could get another one at MSG, or if
Jay
they
ain't
did it
coming
in
out,
Philly. No, Jay not coming out. Only way Jay coming out is if they do it, if it's in Brooklyn, and if it's like, it has to be him. It has to be him versus, and I don't see it being that. But it would be dope to see a Rockefeller versus somebody. I don't know who that would be. That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. Maybe, I mean, Rough Riders.
Mm-mm.
Um, uh, you know,
Rockefeller kind of stands alone when you think
yeah,
about that
it's
roster,
tough when you talk about a whole rock. Like, I don't see nobody, man. I don't see nobody. It would have to be like Rockefeller versus Def Jam. You just get, you
which
just
is
go,
not even that's that. I mean, even that is a cheat code because Rockefeller was kind of Def Jam
yeah,
technically, to
yeah,
some degree. I'm trying to think, maybe Death Row, but
yeah. They
that,
all did.
yeah, other than Snoop.
All the good ones. Like,
Oh man,
sucks, man.
No
Uh,
Limit,
no limit. Yeah, nah, that's trash.
Cash Money, No Limit, Cash Money need to do one.
They'd have to throw together a lot of people to get that one, to
Yeah,
get a group against that one, or for that one.
Rockefeller was a team, boy.
You could do boroughs, like you could do Brooklyn versus Queens, like that would be something different. You do
That would
Brooklyn
be
versus
tough.
Queens, and you had
That'd be
like
tough.
Fab and Jay. Oh my god.
That'd be
Oh
tough.
man, like that'd be crazy. You bring, oh man, that's something
That'd be
different.
tough.
Then you bring in Nori, and you bring fucking Nas,
Nas,
you bring Havoc.
Havoc. Yep,
Oh man. Oh,
yep,
you know
yep.
what? I need to send an email. They not gonna read it, but I'm gonna send it.
Listen, man, you have some ideas on here, buddy.
Yeah,
Giving them free game over here.
for real, for real. Um, what else, man? We got anything else that we need to touch on?
Pause.
Listen, they grown.
Hey yo.
As long as they grown.
Oh man. Well, I didn't watch anything new recently.
Binges. Yeah, yeah.
I didn't watch anything new recently. However, Suicide Squad, one of my good friends, good frat brothers, I think is a professional movie critic now. On the low, he hasn't really announced it, but he's been
Okay.
getting advanced screenings to stuff. And I don't like reading. While his reviews are phenomenal, he is a little bit more forthcoming now with what happens a little bit to me, which lets me know that he is writing for somebody. I don't know who, because
Spoilers.
his style, yeah, his spoilers. It's a non-spoiler review, but it kind of spoils a little for me, so I kind of stay away from it. But he's a phenomenal writer and reviewer. But he's raved about Suicide Squad, and while I don't mess with Rotten Tomatoes, it is the highest rated DC Universe movie thus far.
I'm excited about I'm absolutely excited about Suicide Squad. People hated the first one. I actually liked the first one.
First one was bad. It
It
was
wasn't
good up
great.
until the end.
Like, it wasn't great, but and it was a pretty, pretty high end cast, but I thought they did pretty good, man. I thought, like you said, at the end, and it fell off. But I thought it started pretty good. I thought their character introduction was good.
Mhm.
Will Smith's character, what's his name?
Deadshot.
Deadshot. I thought they did a good job with him. Harley Quinn, obviously, they did a good job. They were able to branch off. I even
Mhm.
thought Jared Leto, in the small pieces that he had, did a good job in his role with Joker. So, I mean, like I said, man, people hated it. I thought it was okay. It wasn't the worst to me. But I'm also not as much of a critic as you guys are when it comes to those things, because I also, I understand, and not that I understand, but I try not to hold everything to a pedestal.
Mhm.
Um,
Entertainment. I mean, like I tell you all the time, like I am I forego a lot if I'm gonna be entertained like that. I
mhm.
don't mind it not being accurate because a lot of these movies are not gonna be comic accurate to everything and all of that. I want shit to make sense and I want to be entertained first and foremost. And so, like you, I thought Suicide Squad, the first one wasn't bad until the villain, which even still, I mean, but people like to pick apart what they like to pick apart. And the standard's not the same all the time. However, again, these reviews for this one are pretty up there. So I'm
Yeah.
interested to see. Oh, and we got the trailer for finally. We got the trailer for Richard Williams' story, Venus and Serena's father.
Oh yeah, yeah. What do you think about it?
This movie has been in talks for at least a decade. So I'm just glad that they finally did it.
I
I
thought it
think
looked pretty good.
it looks phenomenal. I think Will Smith, he looked really invested into the character. And, it's gonna be dope to really see at this time in this day and age, see the impact of what a loving black father was really all about.
I want to just say to VP when he listens to this, he was up in arms about Will Smith, because it was colorism and etc. playing
I
this
remember
role.
that. I remember that.
And I recall saying Will Smith is going to bring people to the movies. That's what
Absolutely.
they're doing. And
Put asses in the seat.
watching this trailer, man, he was the focus of the trailer, number one. And obviously he's the focus of the movie, but he did a great fucking job. He
Yeah.
did in the trailer, right? In the trailer, the pieces we saw. Now, if it's like other movies where we see the trailer has all the good stuff, which we've seen that in the past before, then I'll have to eat my words in the future. But it looks
Oh
like it's
man.
gonna be good. It looks like the message is gonna be tough.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a great message for multiple different dynamics when you talk about just children, athletes, parents of, whether it be athletes, whether it be musicians, parents in general, black people, black parents, black girls,
Black
like
fathers.
black fathers. There's a lot of messages it looks like is going to be in this that we got just from the trailer. So I'm excited about this film.
Yeah, and he looked really invested. I mean, we've only seen, like, if you watch clips of Richard Williams, if you've seen him watching their games, live, he seems to embody this guy. Will Smith is a long time actor who really gets invested into his roles, and he looks like he's into this one. And he's been money so far when he's played other people, specifically Ali. So I think actors take a more investment in roles like this where they got to represent somebody's legacy. So
Mhm.
I'm excited for it. It's this movie has been in talks for years. I mean, shit, I
Yeah,
think we might have talked about this 5 years ago,
yeah.
or how many years ago it
A
was.
few years ago for sure, but I look forward to it. It's gonna be good. I got to catch up on Kanan. I started the second episode last week and fell asleep because I was dead tired. But the first episode I kind of like. Um, I'm telling you, man, you got to start that show on HBO I told you about. HBO. It's called. Oh man, how come it doesn't just come up? I just watched it. It's the new Sunday night show that they have. It is called. It's not in my continue watching for some reason.
Mm.
Damn it, man.
Let's
You
see.
fucking kidding me?
Mm, Astro Boy. No, that's not it.
Mm, oh, the White Lotus. The White Lotus.
Uh,
It's
that's the
funny.
resort one, right?
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny.
Mm.
Like it's raunchy as fuck. You'll like it. This nigga, I'm gonna just tell you, this nigga lost his iPad because he was jerking off on the beach. like like that. That shit's funny, man. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. I'm only 3 episodes in, but it's kind of funny, man.
Uh, yeah, I haven't watched Kanan because, like I said, my Fire Stick situation is bad, and I
mhm.
haven't subscribed to Stars yet. But I'm thinking about it because I love the Power series and that whole thing. So
I'm gonna watch Fast 9 this weekend.
it's
Uh,
coming to it's coming to TV, or
no,
oh, you
no,
going to see it?
no.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah. Let's just say it's there.
Yeah,
There's availability. What do they call it? The black market.
man. Do I miss those days?
The old heads used to call it the black market. We called it bootlegs.
Yeah, miss those
Um,
days.
so I'll be watching. I'll be watching that this weekend. But
To see how bad it really is.
yeah, yeah. I know what it's gonna be about. So I'm probably going. I'm telling you, I'm be on the beach. Probably sit out on the balcony. I'll probably stop at the cigar spot, get some drink, and I'll probably be twisted when I watch it anyway. So it won't even matter. It
Right.
won't even matter. I probably fall asleep. It'll be watching me. But but yeah, man. I'm about to go get ready to hit the road, man. You got
Safe
anything planned
travels.
for the rest of the weekend? Well,
Nah,
for today at least.
no, sir. Looks like the weather is looks like it's about to rain. It hasn't been hot here. Like it's only been hot like maybe a couple days, maybe like 3 or 4. It's been a really weird summer here. It's kind of cool right now and gloomy. So yeah,
Yeah, hot out here
I
for
went to a
sure.
pool party last night. That was pretty interesting.
Oh, was it a
But
black pool party?
yeah, it was a birthday party. Nice crowd of people.
Except nobody was in it. Everybody was.
Oh, they got in for 5 minutes tops and got out.
Motherfuckers had on Tim's. Niggas had on Jordans outside the pool. Like,
It was a private joint, and man, the house that it was at, brother, had to be at least 1.5.
oh, I'm sure.
Had to be at least 1.5 mil. I mean, it was in this remote ass location in Baltimore that, you know, and I'm talking about the houses, man. I mean, some Ravens got to be living out there for sure.
Yeah,
For sure. It was nice.
looks
But
good.
other than that, man, I ain't doing a whole lot, man. Sit around watching TV.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, no VP today, so we'll just say we appreciate you listening. We'll take a quick rundown. It's the Castworthy Podcast, and we can be found on Spotify. We can be found on Spreaker. We can be found on Apple Podcasts. We can be found on iHeart. We can be found on Facebook. We can be found on Instagram. We can be found on Twitter. We can be found on YouTube. Live streaming on YouTube and Facebook every Sunday. Um, yeah, man. Follow us, like us, dislike us. I mean, comment, hate us, and whatever, man. We'll interact. Give us feedback. We appreciate it. We'll take it. For those that have been lending that feedback, appreciate it. For those who've been asking, for tips, that's awesome too. Finally starting to see that we're making some moves here. So you know, that's what we're here for, man. Topics, we'll take topics if anybody has any. you know, um, and other than that, man, we appreciate you guys listening. Stay safe, wear your masks, get vaccinated if you're not. And we'll talk to you next week. Peace.